Hello and welcome to this introduction to the City Road Basin in Islington, a tale of 2 centuries of development and redevelopment. I'm Giles Eyre, I live close to the basin and I'm a trustee of one of the charities based on the basin operating a community canal boat. The City Road Basin lies just north of City Road in Islington. It's a large expanse of water, some 300 yards long, surrounded by low and very high rise housing, a small park and a few offices, and it connects with the Regent's Canal on its route from Paddington to Limehouse and the Thames. It's a pleasant area of open space and an area of dense urban housing. 200 years ago, in August 1820, the City Road Basin was a scene of great celebrations as the Regent's Canal was opened throughout its length. There was a grand procession of barges which passed noisily through Islington Tunnel and into the city basin. This map shows the current location of the basin. The earlier map shows a basin as it was built, 550 yards long and 35 yards wide, nearly twice as long as it is now, and passing under City Road at a bridge. To provide convenient quaysides for the many boats, 7 side docks were built, none of which now remain. Before the Regent's Canal was built, most of the main towns in England had been reached by the extending transport system of inland waterways to supply the Industrial Revolution with its raw ingredients and to transport its finished products to the new consumers. London was originally served by the River Thames and in the east by the River Lee. The construction of the Grand Junction Canal, linking more directly with the Midlands, began in 1793. This ran to Brentford with access to the city and port of London via the tideway, unsuitable for the use of inland craft. By 1801, a branch had been opened to Paddington, a small village, a slow and lengthy journey by horse from the city. The Regent's Canal was built to what was then an unprecedented scale, big enough for Thames barges, and with locks doubled up to ensure efficiency and relatively speedy journeys to provide a convenient transport link for goods to and from the City of London. This watercolour shows City Road Lock close to the basin with Islington Tunnel in the background. The City Road Basin was built as a major transport hub and transshipment centre only 3 miles from the commercial heart of the British Empire. 14 canal carriers moved in, many from their out-of-town bases at Paddington. Goods were brought in by barge from the London docks and from ports around the Thames estuary, and by wagon from manufacturers and dealers around the city, and transported to Birmingham, Leicester, Nottingham, Chesterfield, Manchester, Liverpool, and many other places between and in addition, and finished consumer goods and goods for export brought back. One of the largest carriers was Pickford's, offering timetabled services throughout England by non-stop horse-drawn services on narrowboats. And until the arrival of the railways from the late 1830s, the 2.5 mile an hour speed of a horse-drawn boat travelling non-stop was in practice as fast as you could transport goods. And this remained an attractive and competitive means of transporting some goods into the 20th century. A train of narrowboats was involved in an explosion at Macclesfield Bridge, Regent's Park, on the 2nd of October 1854. The report into the explosion contained details of the wide range of goods being transported that night from the City Road Basin around the country. And that included tea, coffee, sugar, pickles, cheese, ginger, candles, headstones, bacon, butter, cement, wine, sardines, nuts, jams, petroleum spirit, and of course, the gunpowder that caused the explosion. And this was at a time when railways had become well established in competition with the canals. The City Road Basin was built on farmland, and the extent of farmland nearby can be seen in this 1831 map. But it fueled an explosion in housing and population in the area, the population increasing tenfold in 50 years and housing increasing tenfold by 1900. Even in 20 years, the area had changed fundamentally, as this 1850 map shows. The fierce competition from the railways resulted in the consolidation of long-distance canal carrying into fewer businesses, the last major carrier at 32 Wharf Road being Fellows, Moreton and Clayton, whose base is shown on the map, and who continued the carriage of goods around the country from City Road Basin until nationalisation of the waterways in 1948. An increasing number of different businesses occupied the wharves around the basin. Some provided domestic supplies such as coal, and others supplied the house building market with timber and stone, as with this extensive timber yard. But there were also more specialist businesses such as Davenport's, a large pottery business based in Stoke-on-Trent, which operated out of a substantial warehouse during much of the 19th century, although demolished in the 1970s, producing a wide variety of porcelain. The first carbonated tonic water was developed by W. Pitt and Co. at 28 Wharf Road, and soon after was found to taste best with gin. In 1893, the London Hydraulic Power Company built large premises at 34 Wharf Road to produce pressurised water, which was piped around London to operate machinery as varied as Tower Bridge and theatre safety curtains. Its magnificent building was demolished in the 1970s when it was about to be listed to preserve it. Less clean energy was produced at the County of London Electric Lighting Company generating station, built on Oak Wharf alongside City Road from 1894 until 1930, a very different site now. Starting in 1909, most of the Graham Street side of the basin and subsequently parts of the Wharf Road side became the premises of a pharmaceutical company, British Drug House, where it developed anaesthetic, penicillin and insulin. In the distance, in this photograph, the bridge linking the premises on two sides of the basin can be seen. But in the early 1970s, by which time BDH was part of Glaxo's, the site was abandoned and much of the basin was now derelict. One of the last businesses to make use of any water transport was the timber and wallboard businesses Anderson's at Harris Wharf, now lost beneath the housing of Crystal Wharf. Imports via the Port of London were carried by barge to the warehouse. In the 1970s, plans were made to fill in a large part of the now derelict basin, and a campaign led by local resident Crystal Hale and other local-minded people who recognised the potential of the basin as water space was fought. The first Canal Festival was held in 1973 by the Inland Waterways Association. In the end, only 13% of the basin was lost near the City Road. Crystal Hale had set up a boat club for young people living locally. A large barge, Water Gypsy, was brought in as a clubhouse, sailing boats obtained, and the Islington Boat Club was founded. Now in its own clubhouse, but still with Water Gypsy outside, the Islington Boat Club continues to provide water-based activities for local young people. Crystal Hale also set up a community canal boat to provide the experience of canal trips, also for local young people, Angel of Islington. And the organisation continues to provide day and residential trips for local people, young and old, in the successor boat, Angel 2 of Islington. And once a year in September, the basin comes spectacularly alive with the Angel Canal Festival, a waterways and community event sadly cancelled in 2020 because of the COVID-19 pandemic. I'll be giving a longer and more detailed talk on the history of the City Road Basin on the 1st of October. For details, please visit the London Canal Museum website.